Texans playoff football. I repeat, Texans playoff football. It's here, and we're making preparations for tomorrow's practice. Texans, I heard a little bit of a walking around kind of deal today. Guys are in the building. Guys are getting ready, and we'll get you with some updates. I know a lot of the questions kind of in advance based on social media. Before I get going on a lot of questions, I'm going to share it again so that everybody can get a chance to know that we're having this. I shared it a couple of times. So let's do that again. One sec, guys. I'll get to all your questions. Just give it a little pacing. I appreciate that, so I can get to everybody's questions. Give it a little pacing. I appreciate that, so I can get to everybody's questions. Give it a little pacing. I appreciate that, so I can get to everybody's questions. Looks like it opened on my laptop. So, yep. Jalen Reed, yeah. Jalen Reed is ready to go. I have no idea when they will make the roster move, but I would expect him to be practicing. That was the expectation all throughout last week, that he would get back out there and they would have their safety. Now, they did make a move today, as I reported exclusively. Kayvon Wallace, who cleared waivers, is now back with the Texans, signing to their practice squad. So he's there for depth. I don't think he's going to start. I think they will try to do what they can to get Jalen Reed out there. So we'll see how that goes. And before I even get questions, Kamari Lassiter, ankle injury and knee. Heard the ankle was bothering him a little more than the knee. Was limping after the game, but he will play. And he could have played in the last game if he needed to go. What's up, bros and sisters? Hello to everybody. I'm here. All right. So, guys, stack up these questions. Just let me get to, as they come in, like 3 or 4 in a row. That way I don't miss anybody's questions. I'm here for you guys for the next hour. Appreciate everybody that's watching, liking, subscribing. And shout out to Fence Geeks, our new sponsor, fencegeeks.com. Really happy to be working with them. You can call them at 713-299-6482, 713-299-6482, Fence Geeks. And we'll shout them out again throughout. And I do have an announcement for Friday. I'll be at J Mar Barbecue with Earl Mitchell, former Texans and North Shore defensive lineman. So we'll be out there at 5 p.m. if you guys want to come through, and I'll answer your questions. I'm happy to meet you guys in person. So that's my first. I don't know. We'll have some live and we'll have some video. Yep. O-line configuration. I think that's our first question. Okay. Trent Brown is still not 100%. He's in a knee brace, and it's touch and go on whether Trent can go. So he's not 100%. If he can go, they'll put him at right tackle. If he's not ready, it'll be Titus Howard and Jarrett Patterson. So they will attempt to get Trent Brown back. He's practiced for a week. He's making progress, no setbacks, but no, I cannot guarantee here tonight on a Wednesday that he's your right tackle on Monday. You guys know what it'll be. From left to right, if he can't go, Ariana Urshi, left tackle. Left guard, Jarrett Patterson. Center, Jake Andrews. And right guard, Ed Ingram. And right tackle, Titus Howard. Yeah, Steelers. TJ Watt will go. He's back. That's the biggest one for the Steelers. They have not practiced or filed an injury report for the week yet, but their main people are, expected to go, at least from the last game. I don't think they're going to have anybody that's just, missing. Your D tackles, Sheldon Rankins and Tommy Togiai. And the backups, of course, are Lecky Fotu, who I did a little solid piece on that is on Click to Houston. Posted that last night. Encourage you guys to check it out to learn more about Lecky Fotu, who played for Texans defense coordinator Matt Burke with the Arizona Cardinals, friend of J.J. Watt. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, BG, for the 100. Love that. Appreciate that. Great to see everybody. Thanks, Alvarez. Yeah, it's fun. Glad to see you guys. Excited. Big week, right? Big week. And I'm getting ready Everybody's getting ready for this. A couple Steelers, as you know, injured reserve for them: Darnell Washington, Daniel Ekuale, Calvin Anderson, and Dante Kent. Jalen Smith will not be back. I have already talked about Jalen Reed. Yes, they have not done that yet. It is the expectation with several people. They have not made that move just yet. Jalen Smith is definitely out for the season, though. Knee surgery. So your third corner is Tremont Smith. The good news is, as I said before, Kamari Lassiter, I said this last week, Kamari will be able to play. I'm not as worried about the explosive plays because you have a change of personnel. I understand that bothered D'Amico Ryans, understandably so. You want anybody you put out there to be capable. Just like it bothered him, he didn't throw anyone under the bus, but he, look at his actions. Miles Bryant didn't play the following week, except for special teams when he gave up those missed those tackles. So I think they could give Miles another chance. It has been a long time since Jalen played. I think they're going to have to split it up. They'll see how Jalen does. I think they have to gauge his football conditioning. That sounds fun. Yeah, you and the Steelers fans. Yeah, I'm no stranger to Steeler fan trash talk. Going back to my days covering the Ravens. First, Brian Billick, and then John Harbaugh. And sorry to see John go. But John has a ton of job opportunities. See where he winds up. Yeah, Trent will be the right tackle if he shows in practice he can move well enough. If he can't, then Titus Howard will be out there. And Titus has had some good games. He played against TJ Watt before, and I thought he really acquitted himself pretty solidly. I just got to block them. I think, one of the best ways of neutralizing a pass rush like they have is to run the football. So I think it's going to be difficult. Wallace is signed to the practice squad. I think he'll be up again. Yep. I think CJ is locked in. I think he's sharp in the postseason. I was looking at something from the NFL sent me earlier today. CJ had the highest passer rating for the first start as a rookie quarterback. He's in some good company, having won a playoff game in each of his first two seasons. If he wins this playoff game, then he joins Otto Graham and Joe Flacco as the only quarterbacks in NFL history to have done so, to win a playoff game in each of their first three seasons, winning at least one playoff game. Thanks, Super Serial. You absolutely have fun. Yeah, Wallace is signed back, as I reported, to the practice squad. I think the question was, though, will he be elevated? I don't know that yet. You get the 3 elevations in the playoffs. Like Leke Fotu has another elevation. They'll either get him on the 53 or he'll be elevated again. But yes, Leke Fotu, I can tell you right now, it doesn't take a lot of inside information to realize that he will be up. That's an interesting question. Why are there so many haters on CJ Stroud in the local media? I am not one of them. I think CJ is a solid to good quarterback. Greatness is something that he can attain. He does not consistently do it. I think that's probably the number one thing that people have, dinged him for, is that, where's his consistency? What's going on with, sometimes from half to half, quarter to quarter, and people just want to see that from him. They want him to be all the time consistent. But nobody ever played a perfect game, and I've covered some great quarterbacks. I've covered a lot of Tom Brady games, Patrick Mahomes games. I don't know how great Joe Flacco was. He had a great playoffs and took care of everything there. So that's good. I appreciate the sentiment, job ministry, but that is not our topic tonight. So let's move on. All right. I'm not here for baseball questions. I apologize. Tua? Oh, we got Tua questions? Okay. They've got to work things out with him with the contract. There's a possibility he could even be the backup for the Dolphins. I think, as awkward as that might be, contractually they might need to do that. Got my favorite drink here, my unsweet tea. I am about as boring as it gets when it comes to drinks. I like that one though. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate the contributions. But yeah, this is a NFL playoff game talk, so Let's stay on topic. Be mad at whatever you want. All right. You know, I could see the Texans making it, and I could also see the Seahawks in a rematch of Seattle-Houston. My second place pick in I think it could be Denver. Denver, I think, is the biggest obstacle the Texans have. Let's see Pittsburgh weather. I heard it was going to be 30 degrees, clear and cold. Let's see the forecast that we've got here from AccuWeather. CJ definitely has run more in the playoffs. Absolutely. We've seen that before, right? That's not a big surprise. All right, guys, I'll give you... I'm no Justin Stapleton, KPRC2 weatherman, but let me do my best with this. All right, tonight in Pittsburgh, 37 degrees with a lot of fog, then 56 and 63. 60, then dipping down to 35 degrees on Sunday with a couple of snow showers. By Monday, though, high of 42, low of 30, probably low of 30 at night, and clouds and some sun, but only a 10% chance of precipitation. Here's my weather question. They handled the cold weather in Kansas City. Yeah, that's a great point, Alvarez. And Texans offense, yeah, it's up and down. It's up and down. But the defense, steady as she goes. Like I said, guys, we'll have plenty of time to take everybody's questions. We're just about 11 minutes in. I've hit a couple of the high points that I announced at the beginning. Wallace was supposed to help over the top on the Tremont Smith play, but Tremont also did allow a lot of separation. So two things can be true. One of my favorite phrases, that Tremont could have played it better. And sometimes as a corner, you can't just look for the safety and expect him to bail you out. Most of the time, you just have to expect that's not going to happen. Remember when they were playing with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, communication was an issue. That happens. I don't think they're going to have Kayvon in the same role again. It'll be either Jalen Reed or Miles Bryant. So we'll find out. I'll find out. They've allowed no sacks in 3 weeks. That's outstanding. I mean, there's nothing better than 0 sacks. No comment, JB, which just made me laugh. Kaimi he did kick well in Kansas City. He can do it. I've seen, there were some times where I thought, Caley did okay. There were some times, other times I thought he was too conservative. Joe Burrow's awesome. Caden, I'm not sure who that is. Oh, I get it, and I didn't fall for it. Almost got me there. 2 words. Starts with a G, and then the other one, I get it. Wise guy. They got to get after Aaron Rodgers. They got to collapse the pocket. They need to stay contained. They have to get to him fast. He has a quick release. And they have to bottle up the run. I think that they need to make people pay when he tries to dink and dunk. Some big hits. I've got some random questions. Why are we so off topic? I don't understand. I was fine with Mario Brothers. I played it as a kid. Yep, I was there in the Meadowlands. Aaron Rodgers tore it up. No, I'm not a big Ian fan. Adam first. There were, some issues up there. I would say mostly with the offense coordinator and Lamar Jackson. That is not a John Harbaugh. There's a lot of people that love John Harbaugh up there. And the owner just thought after those 3 home games they lost that it was time. Yeah, Nick hasn't told me his plan. I've heard a little bit that they will try to stop the run. They will, of course, I'm sorry, I was answering a defense question. On Nick, they'll try to establish the run. They're going to try to use tight ends, Dalton Schultz. They will, I think, not do anything real gimmicky. It'll be a Nico Collins kind of game. They have to get after it. You put your best on DK, but I think your most physical is Kamari Lassiter, but Kamari's not 100%. He won't be 100% for this game. I won't be 100% until the offseason. He's playing hurt. Yeah, it was 2024, but who cares? It was a year ago. I've heard mixed things on whether it was the Dolphins or not, and if they're going to do it. Tampa Bay is coming back with Bowles. I don't think it was them. I think it may be Miami. They just haven't given Noel the opportunities despite him coming through. They continue to play Kirk. I can't really explain why they do that, but it's been that way, right, for a while. And at some point you just have to kind of say, okay, well, that's what they're doing. They should be playing Noel more, especially after the touchdown that he had against the Chargers. I don't really understand the logic there. I'm going to pull it up here and look at targets and snap counts and stuff like that. But targets is the biggest deal. So in here on really great website called Pro Football Reference, I use quite a bit. And so looking at the season for catches, as you guys know, Nico Collins gets the lion's share of the targets, 120 of them. Oh, thanks, BG. I appreciate that. That is really nice. BG on the board, and I'm on the board. So guys, you can see what BG's done. Appreciate that. Anybody that does that helps me support the channel and this whole endeavor that I put a lot of time into. And we're getting closer to 25,000 subscribers. We also have a sponsor, Vince Geeks. So happy to have Vince Geeks along. He's a Texans fan like you guys, and support his business. He's got a legit business with some great custom fencing and doors, railing. They do it all. They are great. I'll continue to shout them out. But like I was saying, 120 targets for Nico for 71 catches, 1,117 yards, and 6 touchdowns, even with missing a couple of games. And then they've thrown it 106 times to Dalton Schultz. He's come through 82 catches, 777 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then with Kirk, the targets have not translated into the production you would have hoped for and the salary that you're paying him. So they've targeted him 52 times. He only has 28 catches, 239 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Noel, in just 35 targets, has caught 26 of those passes for more yards, 292. He has 2 touchdowns. Bubblehead, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks. Me and Landry are cool. Landry, it's he's having some fun with me. It's okay, guys. I am thick-skinned. I don't have any issues with Landry. Landry and I have different kind of channels, and it's just different styles. But like I was saying, yeah, Noel, what he's done, it would say you should give him more. Just like Jaden Higgins, more. 41 catches, 525 yards, 6 touchdowns, which tied Owen Daniels for the second most by rookie in franchise history. And he's had only 68 targets. Wow, St. Louis Rebel, you are the man. Thank you. Thank you, Rebel. Rebel, $100. Thanks, Rebel. Love it. Appreciate you guys. Very, very generous. Thank you. Very humbled by your generosity. Tip jars is it's hitting hard. And like I said, I'm here for all your questions. Ask away. I think I missed one. The injury report is not out yet. I already reported, though, Kamari Lassiter will be back. Trent Brown will practice, and they'll gauge whether he can play. Jalen Reed is still working on it. And it's I'm still really staggered by the generosity from Rebel. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I don't get why people hate CJ. CJ takes care of the football. CJ has a tough job. CJ is a guy that plays very hard for this franchise. No, Steelers Panthers Super Bowl. No, I think more likely Texans or Broncos coming out of the AFC. And I think Seahawks are the NFC representative. I know it's Wednesday, but they didn't practice. They didn't have a actual practice. So they were just Walking through, there is no injury report today. Oh, super chats. Yeah, I know that it's called super chats. Actually, I am not ignorant. I joke when I say tip jar. Jamar, I'm hearing, has a high ankle sprain. He is questionable for this game. It is not apparently the most severe type of high ankle sprain, but yeah, he is injured. Do not think he will practice tomorrow. Jags are tough. I don't see them necessarily beating Buffalo. I could see them losing to Josh Allen. Yes, sir. Purple and gold, go Pirates. Yeah, East Carolina. I'm a East Carolina Pirate, as you can see. That was not the helmet I wore when I was playing for the Pirates back in the day and throwing my body around out there. I was on the team when Robert Jones was there. Dallas Cowboys first-round draft pick. Great guy. Zay Jones' dad also. That's what he'd say now. He says, I'm not Robert Jones. I'm Zay Jones' dad. A ton would have to happen. They'd have to be, you need like all upsets. You're not going to have a home game in the second round. I just can't see it. I think you're going to be on the road. We'll see. So they play the games. But, you know, I'm more of a reporter than prognosticator. I don't tend to do a ton of predictions. Ariante Ursary, Sal Lancero wants to know, how's he doing after a game with the cast? So he handled it fine, and he was able to get through the game pretty well. I think that he's going to do fine. You know, I think it's normal. It wasn't the biggest club I thought it was going to be, and he handled business and advanced. Kind of a pass-fail deal when you wear one of those clubs. And, you know, he's a tough guy. He was going to try to play, and they ultimately decided it wasn't a good idea, and he decided that too, against the Chargers, and it was good that he didn't have to play and that they were able to get through that game. But yeah, he had a fracture and dislocation, so it was a more serious type of thumb injury. I think they can beat the Jags. Steeler Eagles from Welder Spence, okay. Could be. Eagles are certainly experienced. I guess I got any and all questions. I think we've gotten some of the religious stuff, and there was something else that was weird. Someone was trying to make me say something I wouldn't say. So, but it was funny. I appreciate the creativity. But just don't want them to take away from the true fans here that want to have their questions answered and hear everything. Of course, Kaimi Fairburn is the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Well-deserved. 6 field goals and tied the NFL record with David Akers with 44 field goals. My favorite barbecue, well, this week, of course, it's Jamar Barbecue. I've also enjoyed the Truth Barbecue. It's one of the other ones I really liked. Yeah, Nick Chubb was just held out as a rest thing as an older player. He'll be back as well. They're going to probably need him with Jawar Jordan's high ankle sprain. Get Chubb back in the mix. We'll see how Jawar Jordan, if he can do anything this week. Well, usually it's tough on a couple days notice and a week to be able to come back and play with that kind of injury. Like I said, guys, I'm here for up until a little past 9:30 because we got started on time, and we'll get through it. So my Monday on the road will be like this. I'm going to arrive Sunday. Thank you, United. I hope you get me there safe and sound. Check in downtown, one of the Marriotts near the Boulevard of the Allies by the bridge. And I believe I'm on the same flight with KPRC's Nick Mantis, and we'll do some television reports. I'll be writing, and I am be ready. Texans and Steelers, Monday Night Football next week. So then, to answer the Rhino, I get there pretty early. I like to get settled in. There will be some television reports on KPRC early. I'll be posting some videos. Hopefully I can get some pregame video for you guys and post those. Sometimes they don't get out there until really late until that. Oh man, D-Town, thank you. I'll answer your question first, especially for that incredible super chat. He wants to know, why doesn't DeMeco Ryans use Jamal Hill in a blitz package with speed he has? He runs a 4.4. He's so fast, I understand. He is also injured. He injured his calf, and he is more of a special teamer. They just don't see him as a guy that is ready to be a full-time defensive player. Right now he's just in the special teams role. Active running backs for the first game, I think it'll be Woody Marks, Nick Chubb, Darga Mwale, British Brooks. And yeah, they're going to need some British Brooks. I think, Berrios, his whole contract is already guaranteed because he's a vested veteran. So if you cut him, you have to pay him. And it's nice to have that depth just in case. He's also it's not only about him being a good guy, but he is a good guy. And I think that matters, and they like him a lot. But obviously, the playing time's not there for him. I do not think Mike Tomlin will be fired. I think he will be back if he wants to be. I don't think they're going to ban the slide. They're going to ask guys to slide better. Hi, Max. I don't think they made that decision. I think the lean is to do the contract later on. It's got to be similar to a Jordan Love contract, and it might make sense for him financially to wait and do it later. Jesus, hello too. It could happen. Jacksonville and Texans, it's possible. Tremont is fast. I think Braxton's a little more sure-handed. I trust Braxton a bit in terms of ball security. Takes good care of the football. They call that a Q collar, and he's asking about Dalton Schultz, what he wears on his neck. They feel like scientifically that helps you protect yourself from neck injuries, stingers, pinched nerves, and concussions. He is a big advocate of the Q collar. Some people call it the cowboy collar. I think it's good. Whatever you need to do, protect your neck. Yep. It's not up to CJ, Sarah. It's up to the Texans. They have the leverage. He is under team control. I don't anticipate holdouts or trade requests. I think he likes being here. I think they keep working together. I think they have to think about extending Schultz with the season he had with the 82 catches, unless his financial expectations are outsized. All the guaranteed money, of course, is gone in Aziz's contract, so it's time to extend Aziz Al-Shire too. They practice, great question from Zim Koplug. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, traveling Sunday, and then playing the game Monday night. So guys, when they have a Sunday game, right, remember they practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is the same thing. They're just not using an extra day. I heard they did get on the field some people today. They did some things. Thanks so much, John Expo, Super Chat. My All-Pros for this year. Believe Derek Stingley Jr., of course. That's an easy call. I think that Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. are both deserving of a first or second team All-Pro. And I expect that. I don't know if they're going to activate him tomorrow. I think it's more likely that they designate him for return to start the 21-day window. And then they can go all the way up until Monday is the deadline to activate him. And knowing these guys, they would probably wait till Monday to make the roster move. They could also do it Saturday, but they don't normally do it the same day, like have the guy start practicing. They have to see how he looks in practice, right? Then they make an evaluation of whether Jalen is ready to go. I think I missed a question. Let me go back a little bit here. I can even tell you the practice times. 12:45 Central on Thursday. Then 11:55 on Friday. And then Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. I'm sure it'll be inside NRG Stadium. And that's what they normally do. and that's a big day because you don't practice by that day. You're not going to play, but I don't anticipate other than Jamal Hill having that kind of situation. I think it's going to be a lot of guys ready, and then they'll make a judgment call on Trent Brown. Is Trent Brown playing right tackle? But Kamar Lassiter, my expectation is he's going to play. Yep, they have the send off. I don't think I'll go to that. Actually, I'll be in the air myself. I'll be flying out of Bush Airport. Please don't stalk me. I'm just kidding. But I'll be at the airport bright and early to make that long flight to Pittsburgh. Hopefully I feel great in the cold and look forward to the hospitality of Pittsburgh. It's actually a nice city. I was there last year, if you guys recall, after Andre Johnson going into the Hall of Fame, them spending some time in Cleveland, and then us spending some time in Pittsburgh in advance of that. I could see Kayvon, yes, still being activated, elevated. No, I do not, as I've said many times, I'm told that there's no Tank Dell playing this season. Same thing with Joe Mixon, out for the year. Next year for Tank, don't know if ever for Joe, but Tank, yes. And Kayvon is a practice squad. They're going to announce tomorrow. They'll probably have to produce the practice squad by somebody. We'll see if there's some other moves, including an activation for Jalen Reed. I don't know that any of the coaches, are just going to come in here. They don't generally do this whole consultant thing. One thing that's been said, it was said to me today from within the building, they feel like Nick Haley is improving. And Nick Haley's getting better and better. They should have him travel, but I think that you can't discount the idea that Kamari, with his physicality, could do well against DK too. Jimmy Ward is out. I don't know about the whole year, but as Nick Caserio said recently, it's getting kind of late in the game. I think physically, he's probably pretty close. He had 2 foot surgeries, and it took a long time. I also think, and this is just I'm not reporting this, I'm just offering this, even though he was acquitted in the case, he still has a civil lawsuit. I think there's something of a public relations issue when it comes to the allegations, even though he was not indicted in Montgomery County, but he's still facing a civil lawsuit in Harris County. He's eligible to play. All right, we got a Steelers fan in here. That's fine. I mean, DK's numbers don't really say that nobody covered him, though. Let's just be fair here. Outstanding athlete, certainly very dangerous and explosive, but, if you think about, how has he actually played, it hasn't been what he did in Seattle. So it's just 59 catches for 850 yards, 14.4 average, 6 touchdowns. Of course, it was just 15 games. I know he missed the 2. And in terms of targets, his targets were pretty high, 99 targets. And it's been a while. It's been a couple years since he had a 1,000-yard season. When he was with the Seahawks, 66 for 1,114 yards. And that was a career high 16.9 average. That was in 2023. And, he has not hit the numbers since his 2020 season when he was 83 catches, 1,303 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Great athlete, big guy. I think DK is very good, but it's not like he's not Megatron or something. He's not Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss. Let me go back. I kind of fell behind a little bit here. You guys let me catch up a little. Yeah, offense definitely needs to channel some of that intensity. Texans, I believe Texans will win. Current offensive line configuration, it depends. It hinges on if Trent Brown can play. So we just have to see if Trent is ready. If he's not, then it'll be last week's configuration. But Trent's in a big knee brace, and we got to see if he's ready. They would love to be able to play him. Depends what the trade offer is. They're asking me what take a trade for Davis Mills. I mean, again, not up to me. If there was a great offer, like a 2nd-round pick, sure. I think for a 3rd-round pick, why do it? Right. They can only have 2 designated for returns. For they have 2 more. Let's go sports. Appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is just sports fans supporting their teams. That's all fair. No hate. Love the game. A little bit of a funny question about DK. Comment. You're welcome, Rhino. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. On Tim, we got to see if their financial expectations are on the same page. They would like to have Sheldon Rankins back, and he would like to come back. That's mutual interest. I've reported that a couple of times. Just want to reiterate that. Leki Fotu could be in the mix for a smaller deal. We'd like to have him back. They think that Blake is improving. I don't know if he's going to be a starter. One thing I would tell you guys, I heard this today, they would like to actually make upgrades with this offensive line. Upgrades. Not just stand pat with the same group. But they like to improve it. I don't know if Jamal is back yet. He's moving a little bit better. He's not as limpy as he was last week. He's getting close. He would help the special teams if he could play. Derek Barnett, I think they would like to have him back. Free agency and draft, undetermined. Got to see who is in free agency. They've got to look at, can you get something done with Titus Howard and Ed Ingram? But all that's on the table. But that is down the road, right? The agents for those players will meet with Nick Caserio at the scouting combine, have a better feel for the market, what the prices are like. I know. I think Titus will be back. He wants to be here. They want him to be here. I think there's a number they can agree on. But again, it comes down to, is he making guard money or tackle money? How do they see it? A little bit of a special case, right? Titus, as someone that plays, so many positions and so many positions so well. And it's not just positional flexibility, because that's a talent. It's also unselfishness. It's being willing to put in the time and having the intelligence to be that versatile. I think Titus has been great. I think he should also be a team captain. Oh, thanks, Best B-Ball. I think CJ can handle it. I think he'll hold it down. Remember how he's played in the wild card round previously? Like the Cleveland game. He was lights out. I think he's kind of due for a consistent game, and they're going to bring pressure, and then he's going to have some time. Thanks for mastering the obvious. It's not very nice. Where's your photo? You want to post your haircut? I just got a haircut today, guys. Got a little fade action here. One thing too, when you get older, sometimes you lose some hair. It's a sign of wisdom, longevity, staying power. I don't agree about LT poisoning Titus, but I think it was time for both sides to move on. And the trade looks good right now. Post a picture. Who cares about haircuts? Oh, okay. All right, I thought you were making fun of me. Sorry, I didn't know you were. It's hard to get a lot of context and tone in these, but I thought you were trolling me. It's all good. If my wife doesn't care, I don't care. I've thought before about cutting it all off. Maybe I'm not ready for that yet. Yep. I mean, it's going to be a really good draft pick, and they're going to have so much. Yeah, I'm live. This is live right now. I think they can handle it. I mean, there's a lot of rushers, though. You just can't have a lot of free rushers coming in. It's not just TJ Watt. It's Alex Highsmith. It's Nate Herbig. It's a lot of guys that can get after the quarterback. So you think about what they're facing there, and I would say it's not easy. It's a, formidable pass rush group, but they haven't always gotten home. It's good. I'm good, D-Feezy. Thanks, bro. And I'm going to pull this up here so we can take a little look at their rush stats and kind of how things stand. So there is some inside push from Cam Hayward. He doesn't always get home. He's got 3.5 sacks, just 9 quarterback hits. Keanu Benton, he's got 12 quarterback hits and 5.5 sacks. Jalen Ramsey blitzing, 3 sacks, 4 QB hits. He can get home. And then you look at some of the rest of the rush. TJ's got 7 sacks. Of course, he missed a couple of games with the dry needling incident. I hope he sues that guy. Alex Highsmith, good pass rush, 9.5 sacks. TJ's got 19 quarterback hits, and also Highsmith, 19 quarterback hits. They've hit the quarterback an equal amount of times. I'll tell you, Nick Herbig brings it, 7.5 sacks, 18 quarterback hits. So they've got a fair amount of rush. Absolutely. Let me back up here a little bit. Missed a couple. I think that Rodgers handled them last year, and it was a similar defense, and he did very well. I think they're going to need a better game than they played against the Jets last season. Much better. Titus is a strong leader. Texans will look into the Breece Hall thing, I believe. I think they'll check it out, but I think it's going to be expensive. I think Will Anderson Jr. will get into the $40 million range, like Aiden Hutchinson, guys like that. X factors in the game. Who can run the ball? Who doesn't turn the ball over? Who makes their field goals? Like Jamie Fairbairn's chance of that. And who protects better? Who's the better pass protecting team? Those are some of my X factors. They had guys hurt. Yes. Tank Dell was your number 1 receiver for that game. You were missing Stephon Diggs with Nico Collins. Yeah, they have interest in bringing Schultz back. Schultz would like to stay. They cannot disappear. Daniil and Will Anderson Jr. got to have a big game. British Brooks can definitely chip. I think he should play more on offense. Nothing wrong with Nico. Yeah, he was rested last game. Happy New Year, Texan. Texas vet. Appreciate that. New Year's Eve, 2026. Super chat from 666 Ronald Runner. It says it's time for CJ Stroud to deliver. The defense earned him all season. It's his turn to deliver. Good stuff, 666 Road Runner. Appreciate you. Thank you. And yeah, I agree with you. It's time, kind of defining times. I think he can do it. Yeah, Rodgers may try to head off into the sunset. He did get married. He's got, life. I think he wants to live off the grid a little bit. That's my opinion. I like Woody Marks running behind British Brooks in a I formation, student body left, student body right, old USC style. Let's see it. Score predictions. Definitely, guys, chime in with score predictions. Houston 23, Pittsburgh 17 from D-Feezy, 38. Eagles, Niners, that's a good one, but I would go with the Eagles. That's my pick. Phillies, playoff experience. Texans have a little bit of playoff experience. They've been in the playoffs as their 3rd year in the DeMeco Ryans era, going to the playoffs, and I think it helps. I mean, if Woody's playing more, then British won't get the carries. I think there might be just a couple runs for British. Oh, sure. I don't think Christian Kirk will be back. I think Tank Dell will step into a good role. Absolutely. I know the offense is bad right now for the Eagles. They're on a struggle bus. It should be much better with the personnel they have, right? Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts. Not great. And Patullo's a big part of the problem, in my opinion. I think Brooks is younger, doesn't necessarily have the body lean of Nick Chubb, the experience, the ability that Chubb has, but Chubb is obviously best days behind him, not what he used to be. Brooks has got some power, a little bit of speed. I like what he can do. Those are avoidable years, Wally. Let me pull it up here. I wrote extensively about this. I actually broke the story that he had been restructured, as I do many contractual matters. I try to get every story I can. I like to get ahead on things. Let me pull it up here. So I had a whole copy of his contract. And so they converted most of his salary into a signing bonus, and they created over $12 million in cap space. And he was originally due $15.5 million. They gave him $14 million actually for accounting purposes, lowered his base salary to the league minimum of $1.17 million to create the $12 million. And with the void years, those automatically trigger if he is on the roster on the 23rd day prior to the start of the 2026 league year, meaning they will cut him. And he makes the same amount of money, but he had more guaranteed money that wasn't there previously. And he had incentives to recap. And I'm not being mean, I'm just letting you know this. He would make $500,000 if he caught 80 or more passes, another $500,000 for 90 more catches, another $500,000 for 100 more catches. None of that happened. Of course, he would make $500,000 if he had 1,000 receiving yards, another $500,000 for 1,100 yards, and $500,000 for 1,200 receiving yards. All those incentives did not hit those incentives, so the Texans did not have to pay those. Voidable means he's not going to be here. Yeah, voidables are phony baloney years, just for cap purposes, for amortization. If everybody understands the concepts, it's just for accounting purposes. Second season, I believe you might be asking about Casey. I think you're asking about Caley. Caley will be back. DP's wants to know Trent Brown playing. He is close, making progress. Touch and go, whether he will do that. Joe Mixon will not be healthy. He will not join the team in the playoffs. Not happening. Guys, thanks so much for the super chats. I'll say the right thing. I know there's a difference between a tip jar and super chats. It's just me kind of joking, like as if we're at a bar. I'm your bartender, serving up info instead of serving up drinks. Cheers to everybody. Yeah, you got to move on from the Mixon thing. But Tank Dell, yes, he'll be around. And like I said, guys, I have more time. I have about 15 more minutes for you guys to answer all of your questions. So I hope everybody. Wow, we have 132 people. This is, I think, a record for us here in the chat. So appreciate you guys. This is fun. Enjoying. I get about 9. Landry actually was making fun of me for reporting the Mixon thing again, and he didn't even mention the Tank thing. Guess what? If I'm asked these questions and I need to get in front of it before other people do that, 150 people? Okay, I wasn't looking up. I was looking at your questions, so that's great, Mr. Optimistic. Thanks for pointing that out. 150 people. Yeah. I feel bad for Joe. Yeah. There was also a fake rumor out there about Joe. Very unfortunate thing for someone to say. Not true. We're back up to 130, so some people filtering in late. Anybody that's just joining or has already been in here, line up your questions, and like I said, I can answer these fast, rapid fire. So just get them lined up, and I'll answer. And like I said, tomorrow our programming notes practice is tomorrow. Yes, everybody knows no game tonight. Thank you, Nero. I could see some changes. We'll see some of these guys' contracts. We'll see, but I don't anticipate major changes to the staff. There's always a chance, but he's got to get healthy. If he's not healthy, then they're not going to bring him back. And there is no more guaranteed money. There's a ton of savings by cutting Joe Mixon. So the field, I was doing a little weather report earlier. We're expecting a low of 30, clear. No rain, no precipitation, 10% chance of precipitation. Some snow on Sunday, light snow showers. They'll keep the field covered. And I think that'll happen. Trent Brown might not play this week. That is a possibility. Don't know that yet. I think Daniil, thank you, Cash. Appreciate that gift. I think Daniil could get another extension. I don't think they have to do it because he's under contract through next year. No, I don't think they'll go after Kingsbury. They had an interview with him that I was told was not serious. It was just kind of a nothing. I mean, those guys are just trying to get in front of things. I think I would, from what I heard, John still had some support in the locker room. I don't think he had some kind of mutiny there. It was more about losing these home games, coming up short with a roster they thought was better, a terrible start. I understand he was impacted by injuries, but it wasn't the only year that the Ravens, in the view of ownership, Steve Bisciotti, underachieved. Steve is fiercely competitive. I've known Steve going back to 2001. I've known him about 24 years. I've known John since 2008. And at some point, just things run their course. It was time. And he's now the hottest free agent coaching candidate there is. And we'll see what job he chooses. Texans versus Seahawks. I could see it happening. What players need to get paid? Azeez Al-Shire, no more guaranteed money in his contract. Titus Howard, Ed Ingram, among the deals that they need to work on. I mean, the field is a little slippery. It depends on the precipitation and all that. Yes, I think Jalen Reed's going to be back for the playoffs. They'll designate him for return. And then, did I know John was getting the boot? I heard a couple weeks ago that he was in trouble. I'm not on the Ravens beat anymore, so I haven't been actively reporting on that. Super chat, big time from Mike Space City. Thank you, sir. Kamara better be at least the second team All-Pro when the All-Pros are announced on Friday. He deserves it. He really does. He's a outstanding tackler, willing and productive tackler, one of the hardest hitters regardless of position in the secondary, not just this one, but around the NFL. And just a guy that loves football, represents this franchise really well, has good hands. The Kansas City pass breakup was outstanding. And I've just been so impressed with Kamari, and everybody can't wait for Kamari to be back. Really the heart and soul of the defense. And I don't say that lightly on a defense that has Azeez Al-Shire, that has Will Anderson Jr. and has Derek Stingley Jr. This guy, really, really big heart, and someone that's really infectious, that they like that personality, like being around him. I don't have the draft picks in front of me. I'm sorry. I don't have time to do a lot of stacking that all up, but they have a ton of draft picks. You guys will be all set. I apologize for not having that right now in front of me. I will answer that question as soon as I have that. Thank you, Gregory. Appreciate you. Again, a big like to Mike Space City. Thank you for that super chat. Good stuff. Okay, from Pasadena, home of Kalen Bullock. He's a pride of Kalen Bullock. He's a pride of Pasadena. Kalen Bullock, one of the best center fielders in football, has that baseball background. You can kind of tell the way he patrols the secondary. Absolutely good range. I don't think Harbaugh would take the Jets job. I don't think they'll fire Aaron Glenn. I think the Giants job is interesting to him. I think Cleveland would open up the keys to the castle and pay him quite a bit of money. I don't think he's going to demand general managers to be fired. We'll see. Texans versus Rams, I would have some concern about, them containing Puka Nacua, which they didn't do last time. They had issues with that. There were some problems. They had some problems blocking Jared Verse, those guys. It was tough. They'd have to play better. I don't think there'd be any team I'd be like, oh, they can't play with them. I think they'd play with Seattle. I don't have a sense that McDermott is on the hot seat. I think he'd be back. Who's the replacement? And so many of these coordinators are underwhelming to me as leaders. I don't really see it with Joe Brady. I mean, I'm answering a question, Scott George, yeah, but you definitely have to focus on the Steelers. But my focus doesn't matter, whatever I'm focused on. the Texans players, their focus matters. They're not thinking about Super Bowl. They're thinking about as Will Anderson said, they have to win 4 games to be world champions. When thinking about the offensive line, you got to think about, are you going to change at left guard? Are you going to retain Ed Ingram? What's the price? Are they going to extend, guys I think that are probably locks, Titus Howard, Arianta Ursary, and Jared Patterson, Jake Andrews. I don't know about if the Chargers, maybe if they had Rashawn Slater and Alt, maybe, yeah. I expect Jalen Reed to be designated for return. I don't think it's activated tomorrow. I think it'll take some days. But yeah, my understanding is that he'll be out there. Who is Andrew? And which Andrew? Thanks, Rodolph. Yeah, that's the approach I have. It's a beat writer perspective. That's what I do. And you're asking about Jake Andrews. Yes, he's under contract. Jawar Jordan is injured. He has a high ankle sprain. Hurts has these meltdown games. It's concerning. I think Jake will be back. I think that they're going to stick with Jake Andrews. 8 sacks. If they have 8 sacks, they'll win this game. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers would take 8 sacks. He's too experienced. I think they could draft a running back if they don't get one in free agency. I think that they would like to continue to augment the position. They're not going to just come back with Woody Marks, in my opinion. They're going to add to it. Yeah, those are good players. We're way off from draft time, though. I know. I don't know about an extension. I think he's done enough to come back. I don't know about extending it. I don't think they're doing the C.J. Stroud contract. I don't think they'll be in cap hell. They do a pretty good job of managing it. Will Anderson Jr., there's a way to have a very low cap figure and still extend them. They're definitely going to address the offensive line. Well, it hurts them not having Darnell Washington. Pat Freiermuth is really good, and I think that he's someone that has good hands, can get open. I would not expect Nick Chubb to be here next year, but we're so far off from the offseason, especially if they have the kind of run you guys are hoping for. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, in my opinion, would not be back. I'm just looking at them, the Steelers and the tight end position. Losing Washington, that hurt. He's a great blocker. Darnell is on injured reserve. Jonnu Smith, I believe, is supposed to play. He hasn't put up giant numbers. He has 38 catches, 222 yards. So he averages, 5.8 yards per reception. He has scored twice. I know Tank will be back, or at least attempt to be back to his old self. I don't know if Joe Mixon will be back. I kind of think he won't be. They're open-minded to it, but he's going to have a great playoffs for them to want to do the deal this offseason. Hope that makes sense to you guys. All good, King Kong. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that is here. Thank you so much. We had a good crowd tonight. Super chats. We got good questions. We only had a few trolls. All good. There is no trade value for Christian Kirk. The contract is done, and they will have to cut him and move on. Draft priorities for next year. O-line, D-tackle, running back. Probably use another safety. Rick Hagwood thinks that the Steelers are going to hear some footsteps. I don't think DK's scared, but we'll see. They got to hit really hard to make him fear them. I think so. It depends what's available when they're on the clock. Remember, they're going to be picking later in the first round again. I think that's a question about Jimmy Ward. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be playing. Remember, you'll have Jalen Smith back. Jalen is expected to make a full recovery. That's a good third corner. I don't think they'll be doing anything, a high draft pick on corner. No. He's got to do more. Reed, he's only had a couple of games to show that he's the long-term solution. I think he'd have to beat someone out and face competition. Texans, let me pull it up here. I've gotten so many draft questions. And we'll have a lot, obviously, of draft talk throughout the thing. Texans draft picks, 2026. All right. Go over the projections for by round. I'm literally Googling this because I did not have this in front of me. They have their own first-round draft pick. They have the Commanders and their own second-round pick. They have the Giants and their own... do they have a third-round pick? It's shaded. They have the Commanders' fourth-round pick and their own fourth-round pick. They have their own fifth-round pick. And they have a seventh-round pick. Yep, no multiple first-round picks, no. Yeah, CJ's got to... Absolutely. I don't think they're firing Nick Haley. I don't agree with that. It's the 40th pick, I believe, of the second round, overall pick of the whole draft. I'm not sure. I mean, they tried to trade up last year. Remember, that was completely unsuccessful. So I don't know if they'll try. I think they'll explore lots of stuff. Nick likes to make trades. I don't think he should trade out of the first round. I think he should draft. I'll hang for another 8 minutes, guys. We'll make it a full 70-minute chat. And, of course, there will be a replay of this. It does take a while for these to replay, so later tomorrow. Proctor from Bama. Yep. Just don't know. How high will he be drafted? We're going to see how guys test. How do they interview? It is really early on the draft. They can let me in the war room if they want to. Never been in the war room. I've been in the Ravens war room, but it was during time of peace, not during the actual draft war, if you will. I don't think Joe Mixon will be back. 38, thank you. It was pretty high there. It's good. We're going to see, do they do a Titus Howard deal, a Ned Ingram deal? That would cut down a bit on how many they would need. What if they address it in free agency? They're not locked in. They can take best player available. See how that goes. Second round's kind of a sweet spot for Nick. Absolutely. I think they paid Titus. I think he's done a lot. I mean, his agent's also aggressive guy, Malky Kawa, that does Jonathan Taylor's deals. He's not afraid to play hardball, but they've done some business together already. I think they'll continue to do business together. I think they got to get another guard. Absolutely. I agree with that assessment from the Redneck Ghost 26. Like that handle. Fun. I think they have to look long and hard at the left guard spot if Titus is going to play right tackle. Penn State guy is gigantic. Breece Hall I've told, has some interest in the Texans. Remember I reported that first, guys? About Saquon Barkley and the Texans. And then they were outbid by $2 million a year. Breece Hall sweepstakes will be expensive. I don't know if Nick's going to be the high bidder. It's going to come down to money, like it always does. Trent wants to come back. I think he's welcome to come back as a backup. If he's okay with that, I think he would be, then he can come back. I like him better at tackle than at guard. I agree with you. Redneck Ghost 26. Like I said, guys, I got about 5 more minutes, so if you want to throw in some more questions or comments, go for it. Yeah, red zone is the dead zone for these guys. It is tough. They have got to strike from a little more distance. Dwayne's the most accomplished. Laramie is the most talented that they've had. I also thought that Brandon Brooks was very good. He's missed, of course, though, on Juice Scruggs and Blake Fisher as far as not finding surefire starters in the second round both times. Red zone's got to get better. It's unacceptable. It's holding back. Kaimi Fairburn making 44 field goals is not it. That's not what you want. You want to make the kicks. You don't want them kicking that often. Unclear yet if they'll keep all the offensive coaches. Some guys may have other opportunities. Some guys might retire. I think that they will, see about some of the position coaches. I don't think everybody is a lock to come back. I mean, Scruggs and Fisher are on rookie deals. Their depth. Blake is playing a lot of snaps and has become more effective in the jumbo package, which is a staple now of their offense. I kind of think that's here to stay. I don't think they're getting rid of that. A couple more minutes, guys. Yep, I mean, we'll have a lot of time to talk draft, but that would be a good one. Gregory Williams talking about Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon. Most of the Texan starters will be playing. There is some question about Trent Brown still. Thanks, Olabosi. Appreciate you. Thanks for everybody that's all the kind words. Appreciate them. 1 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks. He improves by being out there in space. No, they should not go after Cliff Kingsbury. They met with him before and they decided, they didn't do that. He was never offered. Yes, sir, Mr. Optimistic. We will go live again next week. I'm also going to have, I'll remind you guys, I will have a live aspect on Friday. I'll be providing some more details tomorrow about that, but I'll be at JMR Barbecue with the great Earl Mitchell. We're going to do part of it as a video so I can post it faster, and part of it is a live for people that can't be there. And of course, you're also welcome to come there in person. Happy to meet everybody, and look forward to that. It'll be fun. I guess I got a couple more minutes, and then I got to get back to work. This is work, but also writing is work too. Thank you for all the super chats. This is a record for this channel for super chats. I think we had a record for attendance, so thanks, guys. I mean, he'd have to have a terrible playoffs, Gregory, to be fired. I don't think they want to be the type of one and done place. I don't think Dable really fits. I think that'd be kind of a bull in a China shop type deal. I don't see a Jaguars Super Bowl. Don't believe in them. I doubt them. Two touchdowns, 3 field goals will do it. Absolutely. Need to score 20 points. Thank you, Olebo. No, I think Tank will have a good season next year, and they'll want to do some business with him. Obviously, I can't predict the future. I don't know. Is he going to get back to his old form? I think he will, but we'll see how that goes and how much money he wants to make, too. He plays really well. Texans, 24. Pittsburgh, 16. I think Trevor's outplaying CJ right now, but over the course of their careers, I would put CJ a bit ahead of him. Patriots have a chance. I just don't know if they're going to beat some of these really good teams in the playoffs. Tank's on the comeback trail. Hey, bro. What's up? If anybody wants to drop in your score predictions right now, so you can be in the replay, go for it. Like I said, we'll have practice videos tomorrow. We'll have press conferences. We'll have locker room. We'll have a lot going on. All right. That one kid has faith they're going to beat the Eagles. Good luck to your Niners. Know some of those folks. Kyle Shanahan, Kyle Juszczyk, Trent Williams, some good people. It may not be up to him, but if it is up to him, he'd love to stay. He's not looking to go anywhere. All right, score predictions. They're lining them up. Got a couple of Texans picks here. A couple of 23-20s that I'm sure you guys didn't collaborate. So right at the same time, back-to-back 23-20 predictions. Oh, yeah, I didn't know about that Eagles fandom. 27-20. 36-9, a blowout predicted by Funky Cold Medina. MVP of the league? Oh boy. Think on that a little bit. We've got a Steelers pick, a Texans pick. Steelers pick was 20-17. It's 28-17 Texans, 23-17 Texans, 17-24, 23-13. I'm assuming that's Texans. 23-13. Hey guys, just keep them going. I got it. Yeah, I figured you meant that bubblehead. You were thinking Texans. Yeah, like I said, guys, thanks again. This is the biggest and best super chat and chat that we've had. And why not? Why not bring it like this for the playoffs? Love it. 21-20 Steelers. Paul Davini. I don't have a Kalen Bullock. I don't have an all-pro vote. I've heard that there's some chance for Kalen to get some kind of recognition, whether it be first or second team. We got a couple more minutes to let everybody get their picks in. We're going right up to an hour and 15, so a minute and a half left. So get your pick in if you want to. You don't have to, but it's just thought it'd be fun. Get your predictions in here. And yeah, I'll definitely, in the next minute 20, I'll shut her down for the night. I appreciate you guys. This has been fun. I really just enjoyed it a lot. So, wow, 31-9 from Yo-Yo. Seeing a blowout. I think that Sting might follow, but you know, Kamari does have the capability to line up. I think second team. There's a lot of receivers. That's from Amanda. She wanted to know about Nico getting second team All-Pro. I think they draft one early and one late if they don't sign a bunch in free agency. That's for Silent Sarah's question. Yes, sir, JB. We got about 30 more seconds. If anybody wants to put their picks in or get a question in here under the wire. I want to count down. 31-9 from Yo-Yo. Matt Burke, I think he'll get a request or two. I don't know if he's going to get a job. But I could see Titans, possibly Giants, putting in a ticket for Matt Burke. If they don't, It's not like he was necessarily a lock to get a head coaching job this year. Do not know what they would do for DC, but obviously D'Amico can run the defense. But Matt's valuable. Matt's done a lot this year. Oluwafemi, 27-14. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I'm going to head on out. Thanks, Ernie Banks, Houston. Love you guys. Appreciate you. He says Texans 2016. Aaron Rodgers is good. Aaron Rodgers does a heck of a football. Muscle memory, a lot of knowledge. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. It's been fun. All right. Okay, guys, thanks and good night. And talk to you guys soon. Remember, Friday, we're going to have that. I don't get free tickets. I get a press credential. It is free. So we have to travel, pay for our own travel. The organizations that employ us, it's very expensive covering the NFL. Flight to Pittsburgh alone, over $700. About $300 for the hotel. So you're in for $1,000 for one trip before you even pay for your bag fees or have a coffee or eat anything. Yeah, it is expensive. It's not cheap to be there. Good night, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you. My honor and privilege to cover the National Football League and the Texans. Thank you. Good night.